Today, a child returns to Collinwood, unaware of the events that have changed so many lives during his absence. Events that have aroused the suspicion of a young lawyer, the appearance of a mysterious portrait, a marriage between total strangers, the death of a prominent doctor, have all been caused by one whose real identity is known only to herself.
I was told that you wanted to see me, Mr. Peterson.
Yes. I think it's time you and I had a serious talk, Mrs. Collins.
About what?
Dr. Lang.
Dr. Lang? What about him?
I don't know how or why, but I think you had something to do with his death.
Father! Father!
Mrs. Johnson, what's going on here anyway?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you've been so quiet since you picked me up at the train. And why didn't my father pick me up?
Ask me no questions, Davy, and I'll tell you no lies.
David!
Hello, Father.
Well, you must have enjoyed your trip. You look wonderful.
I feel fine.
Good. Mrs. Johnson, would you please go into the study and tell Cassandra that David is here?
Who's Cassandra?
Well, you'll find out in a minute. Let's go and wait in the drawing room.
I just accused you of killing a man. Don't you have anything to say?
I can't talk to you now, Mr. Peterson. Perhaps you'd better wait for me in the gazebo. I'll join you there as soon as possible. Mrs. Johnson, you're back.
Yes, David and his father are in the drawing room.
Do I look all right?
They look fine. Should I tell them you'll be along in a minute?
Oh, no. Please wait for me until I'm ready. Oh, I'm so terribly nervous.
Well, there's no need for you to be nervous. Davy won't bite you.
I know. I'm just so afraid I won't make a good impression. Mrs. Johnson, do you feel all right today?
Do I feel all right?
Yes.
Well, how should I feel? I mean, I feel worn out.
Oh, didn't you sleep last night?
Yes, I always sleep good.
Then why do you feel worn out?
I always feel worn out.
You mean you feel no different today than you do on any other day?
Is there any reason I should?
I don't know. I'm just rather concerned about you.
Well, don't be concerned about me. I'm the healthiest person in this house.
Yes. I suppose you are. Well, I guess I better get in there before they wonder what's happening to me.
David, there is something else that I think I should prepare you for. Your new mother, Cassandra, is quite a bit younger than I am.
Younger?
David, I wish you'd stop responding with questions and say something.
I'm sorry, I just don't know what to say.
Well, I'd like you to react to something. I'd like you to know. I'd like to know whether you're disappointed or angry or happy.
Well, if you're happy, I am too.
Well, that tells me absolutely nothing. Ah, Cassandra, come in, dear. I want you to meet David.
Hello, David.
How do you do?
Your father has told me many wonderful things about you.
Well, David, say something.
Roger, he doesn't know what to say. And I don't blame him. You know, if I were in your position, I'd be pretty shocked, too. But I tell you what, I'll do my best if you promise to do yours, to make certain that we become good friends. Will you do that, David?
David, what is the matter with you? Cassandra's only trying to be friendly.
Roger, don't scold him. It's going to take time for him to get used to me. I think that's only natural. Listen, I know you two have quite a lot to talk over. And you probably want to be alone, talk man to man.
Well, we've already had our little man
Roger,
to
don't
man.
worry. David and I will have plenty of time to get better acquainted. There's no reason to rush anything, is there, David?
I guess not.
I feel exactly the same way. So I'll just go for a stroll and the two of you can get all your talking done.
Well, David, I must say I'm a little disappointed in you.
I'm sorry.
It takes very little effort to be civil to someone, even someone you dislike. Anyway, I can't see how you dislike her since you haven't given yourself the chance to even to know her.
But I didn't say that.
Well, you certainly gave that impression.
I'm sorry, I just didn't know how to act in front of her.
Well, I suppose she was right. It must have been a bit of a shock to you. But if you'll give Cassandra a chance, I'm sure that you will grow to love her as much as I do.
Yes.
Well, son, why don't you run outside and play for a while, hmm?
Don't you want to talk to me?
Well, what about?
Well, I don't know. I just thought...
Well, I don't think talking will do us any good right now. I think the thing to do is for you and Cassandra to become good friends. I know Cassandra's going to try. I only hope that you'll do the same.
Yes, Father.
Always so serious, Mr. Peterson. I don't think I've ever seen you smile.
Listen, I didn't come here to talk about me, but about you.
Yes. You did say something about my being responsible for Dr. Lang's death, didn't you?
That's right.
How do you think that could possibly be true?
Yes, I do. You wanted him dead, didn't you?
Where did you ever get such an absurd idea?
I was Lang's lawyer for 6 months before he died. Yesterday, I went to his home to get some papers necessary for cleaning up his estate. When I got there, I realized that I'd been there before.
Well, if you were his lawyer...
No. He'd never invited me there himself, but I was there. A few days ago. Still isn't very clear to me, but I went there to get something for you. Something you wanted badly. A medallion. What bugs me is I don't know why I did it. I seem to do some pretty strange things when I'm around you.
And you feel that you do these things against your will?
Yes.
And that I'm responsible?
That's right.
Mr. Peterson, look at me. I'm just an ordinary young woman. How could I possibly force you to do anything you didn't want to do? No, no, don't look away. Look into my eyes. As deeply as you can. No, deeper. Deeper. Can you hear me, Tony?
Yes.
Good. Sit down. I want you to help me again.
What do you want me to do?
You're Julia Hoffman's lawyer, aren't you?
Yes.
I have reason to suspect that she's interfering with my plans. She's trying to prevent the dream curse from reaching the person it's intended for.
The dream curse?
Yes. It's a frightening dream that travels from one person to another, becoming more terrifying and more horrible for each person who experiences it. Julia had the dream night before last. She was supposed to tell it to Mrs. Johnson, but she hasn't. It won't be possible for Mrs. Johnson to have the dream and to pass it on unless Julia tells her about it. That's why I want you to help me, Tony.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to watch Julia very carefully. Where she goes, who she sees, what she does. You're not to do anything to her. Just find out why she's resisting.
All right, I'll do as you ask.
And I want you to do one more thing, Tony. I want you to forget that I had anything to do with Dr. Lang's death.
I'll forget. Where was I?
You were telling me about your recent strange behavior.
That's right. Now listen, I don't know why you're so interested in me. I mean, you're a married woman. I shouldn't be seeing you alone like this.
But you are seeing me.
Yes, I don't understand why. You have some strange effect on me. I don't know what it is.
Don't you, Mr. Peterson?
No.
Why, that's very surprising. I should think it should be quite obvious by now.
What?
Don't you know what's happening to you, Mr. Peterson?
No.
You're falling in love with me.
Cassandra, darling, did you enjoy your stroll?
Oh, very much. How was your little talk with David?
Well, he's hardly gotten used to the idea of having a stepmother, especially one as lovely and as young as you are, but he'll make the adjustment sooner or later. Now, come on, let's go on upstairs and get ready for tomorrow.
For tomorrow?
We're going to take the 10 o'clock plane out of Portland.
Oh, where are we going?
Darling, on our honeymoon, remember?
Roger, don't you think it's very short notice?
Well, we only put off going so we could tell David about our marriage. Now he's home and he
I
knows.
know, but he's only been home for a few hours. How can we possibly abandon him so suddenly?
That's a strange choice of words. We're not going to abandon him. We have every intention of returning.
Yes, I know, but I just don't think that we
No buts about it. Come along. I've made all the arrangements. David can survive a month without us. And we can at last be alone together, just the two of us. Come on, let's go upstairs.
No, you go on up alone. I'll pack my bags after dinner.
Mrs. Collins, do you know where Davy is?
Oh, no, I've been out walking. I haven't seen him.
It's nearly time for his dinner, and he does a disappearing act.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes?
have you seen Julia Hoffman today?
Oh, she was here earlier, but she left.
Did she talk to you?
About what?
Anything.
No, she didn't say anything at all to me, but then she hardly ever does.
And today was no exception.
Why should today be any different?
Shouldn't.
You make it sound as if it should.
Well, it isn't. Did she seem different?
Different how?
Not herself.
Well, I don't know. That's hard to say. I don't know what's on her mind.
Do you know where she went when she left the house?
Oh, she went to Dr. Lang's.
Dr. Lang's? Why did she go there?
I don't know. I didn't ask her. If you'll excuse me, I have to get dinner ready.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes?
do you believe in dreams?
What in heaven's name makes you ask that?
No, I'm just curious.
You're curious about a lot of things today.
You haven't answered my question.
No, I never have any dreams, Mrs. Collins.
Never.
Never.
Mrs. Johnson, everybody has dreams.
Everybody who has time for them. I'm a practical woman. I have much too much work to do to be bothered with dreams. If you'll excuse me, please.
David. When did you come in?
Just now.
Oh, Mrs. Johnson is looking for you. I think she has your dinner ready.
I don't care about my dinner. I want to talk to you.
To me? What about?
I was in the gazebo when you and Mr. Peterson were there. I'm going to tell my father. I saw you kissing Mr. Peterson.
David, you really didn't see what you thought you saw.
Yes, I did. You don't love my father.
Yes, I do.
Well, I don't believe you. I'm going to tell him.
How are you going to do that, David, if you can't speak?
Well, let me go.
Look at me, David. The words will not come out of your mouth. You're not going to be able to say anything. Try to say something, David. Go ahead. You see, you're not going to tell anything to anybody. You're going to go over there and sit down. Go on, David. starting right now, we are all going to be very, very concerned about you. Roger! Roger, where are you?
Well, what's happened?
It's David. Oh, come quickly.
What's wrong?
He can't, there's something wrong with his voice. He can't speak.
You can't speak? David, what is it? What's happened, son?
It's no use, Roger. He won't be able to answer you.
Can you hear me? Did anything happen to you outside while you were playing? Did you have an accident?
I think he's suffering from shock.
Now, David, here's a pad and pencil. I want you to write down whatever happened to you while you were outside. Will you do that for me?
Yes, write it down, David. And then we'll know what's happened to you and we'll be able to help you.
Don't you understand, son? We're trying to help.
Go on, David. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just start writing.
Go on, David. I'm going to take him upstairs and call for the doctor.
Yes, I think you'd better. Oh, poor child.
Come along, David. I think until we find out what's bothering him, we'd better cancel all of our plans. I'm terribly sorry.
It's all right, Roger. I understand. David's health should be our first consideration.